guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is B.fleye Beauty, and today we're going to do some Christmas DIYs. We're going to do a very vintage inspired candle situation. If I can find the frame, I'm going to show you just a really simple Christmas or any holiday decor hack, to be honest. And then if I can make this other thing work, we will do a third one that is really, really simple and can go with any decor. So we're gonna start with the candles. I'll put a picture here of what I'm talking about, and then let me show you all the supplies you will need. All right, so what you will need: toilet paper rolls, paper towel roll holders, anything like this, things that rolled your art up for safety in the mail, whatever. So I have a few. I'm gonna cut them into different sizes. You do need some pipe cleaners, colors for fire because they're candles, and some bling is also really nice. Any paper. I have a lot of construction paper. You could do printed paper. You can decorate this. I have some washi tape. You could do regular gold star stickers. You can make this whatever you want. But the basics, some sort of paper, pipe cleaners, and then some bases. So I have these. I like to collect different things along the way that I could use for crafts in the future. So I have two of these and they actually fit perfectly, but I only have two. So I got cardboard. It's a little base there. So I got cardboard to cut out circles for the rest. You could buy little wood circles that look like this. I didn't want to buy anything. I wanted to use what I had. So this might not turn out exactly color-wise the way I want it, but I think it's really fun, and it's just a good example of how you can adjust yours to make however you want for your decor. And then obviously glue. I'm going to use hot glue. But yeah, I'm going to show you everything. Super simple. And then we'll see if we can also maybe light them up. Not totally sure if that will work, but we shall see. Okay, so I'm picking out paper here. I actually didn't have any greens because I used it all last year. So I picked out pink and blue and red. And then what I'm gonna end up doing is having to dip into my greens from last year. So you can see this here. This is part of my holly berry garland that I made for above the TV. I'm pulling part of this apart because I did not want to go buy new. I wanted to use what I had. So these are the colors that I have to use for each candle. Now I'm setting everything up. I am cutting these into different heights. I wanted them all a little different. Super easy to cut. Now I'm going to start to cut out cardboard rounds for the bases and the tops. I didn't make them for the top at first, but I'm using these as a guide and then going slightly around it so that some of it sticks out to give it a little bit more balance. Now I'm going to wrap all of these around. Again, I'm using what I have, so it's not going to be aesthetically pleasing all the way around, especially with this holly. I used hot glue, but I think if I had Elmer's glue, it would have been a little bit better because it is a little bumpy, but you know, I really just don't care. But this one took a little bit longer to do. The rest were very, very easy. You literally just roll them straight down the line. But as you can see, this one was a little bit more tedious because it was in a different shape. At the top, you can push each one of them down. You can cut little slits and push them down and then glue them inside. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways you can do this, but that's what I did. So you see, I made the tops as well as the bottoms. I went back and made the tops because we had to have a place for the flames to go into. As you can see here, I was just handcrafting the different red, orange, and yellow. Now I'm gonna glue all of the tops on. This is probably where I would use the hot glue, a little bit easier. I burned myself quite a bit, but I will say if you have other glue that works for you, totally fine. I just wanted it to stick very quickly, so the hot glue was the best way to go. And then I made all these little flames just using the pipe cleaners. They're not perfect, but again, using what I have, using what I know, and then I got out some gold and silver glitter that we're going to use to put all over the base here, the top and the bottom base. But we do need to make some holes for the flames to go into. I'm not sure that I did this in the proper order, but this is just how it came to me. And I'm sure that there is a better tool to do this. As you can tell, I do things, like I said in the past, like my grandpa, I use what I got in the moment. And the easiest tool for me was just to stick some scissors down in there. I'm kind of surprised I didn't hurt myself, because I usually do. And here I am starting with hot glue, and then eventually I changed to, you'll see me just spill this everywhere. I should have done this on paper and not a rag. But I end up changing to using Mod Podge instead, because the hot glue did not work here, and I don't know what I was thinking. But so you can see I have a huge mess here, and I cleaned it up pretty well. Got all the glitter on the tops and the bottoms, ended up using the Mod Podge like I said, and then I went back and put the silver metallic pieces around to cover the cardboard edges, because I had nothing to cover those with, and it added more bling, which I really, really love. And now we're going to use these to make the big circular tops. Again, trial and error. I didn't use the correct way at first, but I figured it out in the end. They're kind of wonky, but I kind of love wonky. Okay, now I have to straighten everything out, take off like old glue, but I want everything to dry, and then we might add some tinsel here and there, but they are done. They need to dry. I will show you the finished look when it is all complete, dry, and glitter is not falling anymore. I added tinsel. I just couldn't help myself, and I think it adds a lot and covers a lot as well. So just fun to play around with things you have around the house and make it your own. So let's see it in its glory. All right, I definitely want to add some lights, but isn't that cute? I picked this up from Ross the other day. I wanted kind of a planter situation, and I didn't want a Santa. They did have some cute Santas though. Anyway, so I thought I would just put these here, and then I'll add some twinkle lights. So cute. I mean, this gets in the way of her face, but maximalist I am, so this is where we're going. Hi guys. Okay, so first of all, do not be jealous of my 90s vintage sweater. We have a second kind of random little garland to make. So I'll link her down below. Her name is Chelsea, and she's fabulous. And we have very similar whimsical style. Not exactly the same, but very similar. And she showed this garland she made. I was like, oh my God, that is freaking brilliant. So if you have these lying around, makes for such a fun and easy craft, would be great for kids. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I have this lovely metallic glittery silver tinsel pipe cleaners, and I have a ton left over, and I use the tops, or I use these to make the tops of my vintage fake candles. So we are going to use these. Now you can make these any shape that you want. I'm just going to do random circles because I am lazy. But you can make them into a star. And again, I'll link her stuff below because she is the one I got the idea from. But I'm just going to show you circles, and I can show you, like, obviously you can bend this to any shape that you want, and then you just connect them. Super easy. She had like a roll, like you would have a roll of ribbon. That's not what I have, so I'm gonna use what I have because I'm all for spending less money. So here we go. Okay, so Avi, right? You can just make a little circle. You can do a little connector piece, and then you can just twist them around. I might make these smaller, so I might actually cut these in half. I don't know, guys. What should we do? Should we cut them in half? Maybe we cut them in half and make little tiny, yeah. But because they're bendy, like if you really want to take the time to make a star, you totally can. Let me see if I can get one really, really quickly. Like if I was watching a movie right now and not super overwhelmed with life, like that is something I might do. Okay, so this gives you an idea. It is clearly not perfect. But you know, make a shape, connect the dots. Okay, so we have 5 little links right here. I'm going to continue and then I'll show you the finished product and where I will place it in the house. You guys, look at it. This took me literally like a few minutes. So I'm going to put this where I would like it to go. Sorry about the horrible video, but it is what it is. Like you could do this with gold and silver, with any other metallic color. You could do a rainbow. And then what I did was like I twisted it together and then I just pressed down like that. Because for me, I do not let perfection get in the way of the good, if that makes sense. I just want it to be done and cute, and it's going to be cute no matter what. So let me show you it in its natural habitat. Okay, this is my girl in all her glory. And this year I really wanted to just layer tons of ridiculous garland, and I didn't get to go that far. So I really like that I got to add this in. I used to have this, meaning I bought it last year and cannot find it. It's this like metallic, not shimmery, but it's a silver and gold star garland. And so it made me think like this would be really pretty to alternate with gold, or even alternate bigger circle with a little circle, that kind of thing. But I just did a traditional chain situation, and once the lights are on, it'll look really pretty, I think. But just a really last minute easy idea for you and your kids, for you and any family member. I just think it's so easy to personalize, and it's affordable and quick. Okay, so craft number 3 is going to be very simple. It's another one that just can give you ideas to personalize for your own home, for your own style, for your own budget. And that is taking a beautiful thrifted or brand new hand towel, a beautiful page of an old book. And I know some books can be very sentimental, so do with that what you will. Just giving ideas. Even a beautiful bag. I had this bag given to me in a Christmas gift last year or the year before. And I love pink and red together. And I thought, well, I could just cut this out, put it in a frame, and make a sign. Or you could glue it to a piece of wood and make your own Merry Christmas sign. So we're gonna do something with this. And then I want to personalize a thrifted or Dollar Tree frame. Frames can be very expensive, so I don't recommend just going and buying brand new unless that's on you, totally cool. But I talked about this in my haul. This is the 12 Days of Christmas vintage mid-century modern book. It's just incredible. And just taking one of these and putting them in an 8x10 or 8.5 by 11 frame. And, well, maybe not the swans a-swimming, geese a-blaying. I love this, the ornaments. You could do a whole gallery wall with something like this. I got this for 99 cents, a steal of a deal. Anyway, so let me show you what I'm gonna do with that. I do need to thrift or get a frame first, and then I just need to find a, I do think I wanna put this on a piece of wood or something more solid and make my own like tabletop decor sign, which I'm not really into the word thing, but this is too cute, so. Okay, I found this gray frame at the thrift store for $2.99. I'm cleaning it up, pulling everything off. I wanted to do a red and pink stripe here, so I'm getting it all prepped and ready to go, and you're about to see me get real messy. I got it everywhere, but it ended up turning out just fine. So I did 3 layers on this red. Okay, friends, so we have a couple of layers of red, and I went ahead and just did this background just because I'm a messy painter and I just don't care. So we are gonna now tape off some spots and we're gonna paint some pink stripes. So let's figure out the measurements and then we will tape it off and I'll show you what we got. Okay, so we are starting with just traditional size painter's tape. And I recommend keeping one piece as your spacer. So I used it there. I'm not putting it down very hard, spacing it out. I didn't measure. So we're gonna go all the way around. We're gonna do all the work, right, Mimi? We're gonna do all the work. And then we're gonna see if it works instead of measuring, because that's the kind of life I like to lead. Okay, so I ended up eyeballing it and I wanted to do stripes, but when you came around the corner, I just don't want to think too hard, honestly. And you don't either. It's just freaking paint. So I'm going to paint those empty spots with pink. Love that pink and red. I have this really horrible paintbrush from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to do the base color or the base layer here. And then we'll go over the next couple layers with a better brush. Ooh, there's a little ridge here. I need to make sure that I press down all these paint strips. All right, we got our first layer on. We're gonna let that dry, do a couple more. We'll take that off and see how well the tape worked. We have some ridges here that we might have to cover up with some washi tape, but creative process, we just go with the flow. Okay, like I expected, because I didn't do the best job here, we have all these ridges. It was hard to like get that tape down in there. So washi tape to the rescue. So I'm gonna pull up all this tape, put the washi tape on, and put the picture in. All right, and here's the finished product. This is not where the frame is gonna go, but I went ahead and did 2 different washi tapes, and it's still drying a little bit, but I went ahead and put some Mod Podge on top, and I took the glass out. I could not get it clean. It's very weird. So we're gonna just keep it out for now. Super, super cute. Okay, I wanted to give some honorable mention. And these are just ideas that I come up with that I've seen in other spaces as I'm walking thrift stores, as I'm walking like Habitat for Humanity, or if you come across an estate sale with glass pieces that you're just not sure how to use. I picked these up and I had this idea, but maybe you guys can help me figure out how to do what I want to do with these. They are these gorgeous glass lampshades. But there is not a hole at the top where you could slip a ribbon through and tie more securely. If you tie a ribbon here and you try to pull up, it's gonna come off, right? You can glue it, but there's still the chance of it falling. Like if I wanted to hang, because in my mind, I thought these look like Christmas bells. And I could hang them with some ribbon and maybe some twinkle lights. Now they could sit and not be hung, and you could still tie ribbon on the top, little bows, but they would have to be in a line sitting, right? Or like you could tier them on a tray, but I want help with figuring out how to hang them is what I'm saying. Could I drill a hole through the glass? I don't freaking know. How do you do that? But just like how gorgeous they are, they could just be beautiful little candle holders too. You could put them over a little tea light, put your little tea light in there and have a beautiful glow. Actually, let's see. I have this vintage brass, let me have this vintage brass base. You know, these are all back, but this one is a true like solid brass base. But like, how beautiful is this? You know what I mean? Like what a pretty glow. Now this light bulb is pretty crazy bright, but how stunning would that be with a little tea light under there? So I'm trying to figure out a way to hang them like a trio of bells. And then we also find these quite a bit. These are ceiling lights where they just screw right in. These also make a gorgeous, this to me, it looks like a snow globe. So you could put different Like you could put a tiny bottle brush tree in here and a tiny little Santa and put a candle in there or some fairy lights. Same kind of idea, but these lampshades, just stunning. And I feel like there's so much glass at the thrift store. Granted, sometimes they're insane with their pricing, but sometimes you find something that's really cheap, or you go to the Goodwill bins. I'm pretty sure I found all of these things at estate sales or Goodwill bins. But that's kind of my idea for these. This I just kind of see as like some sort of cloche. So hopefully I'll do something with this and show you, but that's kind of my idea for this, is just fairy lights with some sort of snowy scene. And then you can change it out seasonally. Like it doesn't have to be a permanent thing, if that makes sense. So I need your help figuring out how to hang these as a trio of bells, but I wanted to give you guys this idea in case you come across, or you have a bunch of stuff that you just haven't used and you're like, I don't want to get rid of this. How can I use this? And when you use it like this, it gives you the opportunity to reuse seasonally, and it doesn't have to be permanent. You could even use it on your actual ceiling. But anyway, just some ideas for you. Okay, I wanted to show you guys once I put the fairy lights in here so you could see what I was saying. It's on like a flash thing, so probably prettier steady on with some other items in there, but just wanted to show you that very quickly so you kind of got the idea of what I was saying. Okay, I thought the best way to put this on was to staple it. So tomorrow I will saw off the edges and then it'll be ready to go. So unique tabletop decor, little signs, super cute. I think we're gonna close it out here. Thanks so much for watching. If you don't already subscribe, please subscribe. I do a lot of holiday, home stuff, makeup and beauty. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.